We'll call the July 14th City Commission meeting to order. If you would please stand for the invocation and pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening. We ask that you give us wisdom to make the best decisions for the city of Leesburg. In your precious name, amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have no proclamations and no presentations. We will move into public comments. This section is reserved for members of the public to bring up matters of concern or opportunities for praise. Please note that issues raised during this time will not be discussed in detail during the current meeting. They will either be referred to the appropriate staff or scheduled for consideration at a future City Commission meeting. Each speaker is allocated 3 minutes to provide their comments. Kindly adhere to this time limit to ensure equal opportunity for all participants and to support the efficient conduct of the meeting. Thank you. If you have any public comments, I would ask that you form a line at the podium and please state your name and address for the record. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Ready? Okay, I'm Carol Nichols. My address is 2061 Montclair Road, Leesburg, Florida, 34748. I'm in the Oak Ridge condominiums that's right by Berry Park, which is why I'm here. Okay, thank you guys for helping us fix that fence that people were breaking down to get through our park to take a shortcut to the apartments. We really appreciate it. A lot of that helped a lot. We ended up putting up more money of our own to put in a better fence that was crumbling where the homeless people were living in the woods right there and coming through. And anyway, thank you guys for that. Okay, now we need help with something else. The music is too loud. The music, somebody's form of music, because it's just bang, 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 and it vibrates some of the houses, and it shakes some of the glass, and it's just, you just have the feeling of, even if you can't hear it really well, you can feel like it's coming up from the ground. I don't know, it's just really bad. And some people can't hear it until they go outside. Some people can hear it on the inside. Our fence is right there next to Berry Park. So, okay, we're asking for somebody to maybe help form a committee or something to try to get a noise ordinance, because I guess Leesburg doesn't have a noise ordinance. But the city of Lady Lake uses the statute for all of Florida that includes Leesburg, 877.03. It's called breach of peace, and it says the breach of peace is described as disturbing the peace and quiet of others, and it has to be witnessed by a policeman. We can't just call. We can call up and tell them it's there, but they have to witness it in order to warn them, give them a fine, not fine, but give them a ticket or give them something that it can be as bad as a misdemeanor. So we want somebody to do something. We're suggesting a committee or something to look into an actual noise ordinance or something that is going to be enforced here, because we call up, we give our names, and we have to give up. It's like, why call? Because you know nothing's going to be done. It's a preconceived notion that there is no help. There is no help for us. I have a lady that's, she's going to be behind me. She's going to give some examples. She actually lives closer than I do. Okay, we're asking for lights. It says on the sign that the park is open from dusk to dawn. Can you put in a light that says, that goes on and off so that they know when it's done and they stop the music?
Thank you,
We're
Ms.
asking
Nichols.
for more no
Ms.
parking
Nichols.
signs and more police presence.
Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you.
Can she be next? 'Cause-
There's a line there, so she'll have to get in line unless.
All right, we'll have to wait.
Here, Commissioner Peterson would like to comment.
No, ma'am, I was just going to make one comment to you, only because I've taken complaints. We do have a nuisance ordinance, so we'll look into that. We don't have a sound ordinance, but we have a nuisance ordinance, which will apply to you. We've used it in this situation before, just FYI.
And my last thing was going to be, can somebody call me and tell me that something's being done?
The city manager is writing notes. So.
Pardon?
You can see Chief Iozzi, he'll be in the hall, right in there.
Somebody will be.
I'd like to make a,
Chief Iozzi will be in the hallway. See Chief Iozzi. Chief of Police. Iozzi, yes. Commissioner Berry.
yes, I'd like to make a comment, please. The police and the community have been working together, and it's more presence that the police are actually aware, and actually the noise has been toned down significantly. The one area where we think it's coming from has put up a non-trespassing order, so that is a good thing. So after a certain time, the area has to be cleared out. So to answer your questions, we are aware, and the police are working diligently with us to solve the issues.
Thank you. Pastor John Christian.
Yes. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Pastor John Christian, Executive Chairman of the Community Development Corporation. Last week I was in Arizona at a national convention, teaching a class, promoting Leesburg, Florida to leaders around the country. So I was going to the Scottsdale Mall. I started getting text messages from people saying, are you watching the City of Leesburg budget meeting? So I'm here tonight just to make a comment on statements and recommendations made at the budget meeting in regards to the Community Development Corporation of Leesburg participation in the City of Leesburg Housing Repair Program. We would like to stress the importance of removing blight from our city as our commitment as an organization since its inception in 1997. It's been our focus. As you all know, and you've discussed it in detail, the uncertainty of the future of CRAs in Florida, it will be unwise and financial suicide for our organization to give away hundreds of thousands of dollars and nowhere receiving a return. We as an organization are preparing for the worst case scenario, and I pray you understand as a business within a certain future, we are not in a position to even consider giving away funds that do not align with our business model. Last year, we received from CRA funds $459,755, and we are very well aware that the taxpayers' funds, and we are very sensitive to the nature of where these funds come from, and we have tried to be good stewards, and we submit a yearly accounting of all CRA funds to the City of Leesburg since 1998. Our current expenses totaled $417,000 in 2024, which included $40,786 in utilities, $26,000 in property taxes, and $70,000 in insurance, $30,000 in interest. So as you can see, we run a very detailed organization. Our strategic plan does not include housing rehab. We have tried it as an organization in the past, spent over $90,000 in rehab and housing, and it doesn't work for a small nonprofit in a small city. You can understand that even though we put clawback provisions, if you sell your property in 5 years, you pay the CDC back. You can imagine a small community when people come to board members, they come to the organization crying about the fact that they don't have the money needed, so we release those liens. Our priorities are in line with our mission statement. First is home ownership, economic development, preserving historical significance, and affordable multifamily. I wouldn't bring your problem to our solution, Mr. Mayor. The housing rehabilitation programs are really done by government entities or national nonprofits like Habitat or community action agencies. In fact, you have a mechanism which is a community development block grant where cities and counties are funded for rehab, roof repair, replacement, plumbing, electrical updates, heating and cooling, structural repairs, accessibility improvements. Lake County has a home repair, and I heard Commissioner Peterson who said that it's a citywide issue. I believe the City of Leesburg can apply with Lake County or become a small city entitlement again. Well, we would receive $750,000. And we can do these programs in our whole city with $750,000. We gave up our small city entitlement to Lake County because we thought we'd get more money, millions of dollars. So just so I'm in this, Mayor, but I think you have a mechanism in place, but the CDC is not in a position to do home repair.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bill Polk, 600 Cascade Avenue, Leesburg, Florida, 34748. The reason I'm here today is I made a mistake and read the Daily Commercial last week, and it said where you guys were thinking about giving up the Shuffleboard courts for a housing project to a nonprofit. I just want to warn you of one thing. There's many nonprofits in the city of Leesburg, and I can see where that could run into a lawsuit of discrimination if you give to one and not to all. If you give the Shuffleboard courts to Pathways to whatever it is, everybody and their brother's going to be here wanting a piece of property to put a housing development on, which I don't know if it's really a housing development. It sounds like tiny homes. So have you gone through these people's financials to see if they can afford to even put the tiny homes on them after they get the property for zero? I don't know if they're able to do that, you know. So, you know, here we got, are we going to do the infrastructure down there? We're going to put all the electric and the water and the sewer and all that stuff in? Are you thinking about doing that? But to give a piece of property to a nonprofit in the city of Leesburg, which we have done in the past for Habitat for Humanity quite some time ago. I don't know if you've done any recently. But, you know, there's hundreds and hundreds of nonprofits in the city of Leesburg. You give one property to one person, you're going to get a flood of people like this in here trying to get property to put something they want on there. So think about that more than once, please. And the shuffleboard courts, it said in the paper, have been there since 1985. That's a mistake because they were here when I was a damn kid, and I was born in 1954. So there are also methods to renovate that place and make it where it's worthwhile using. The reason you don't see anybody playing on there now because it's 100 degrees, and generally the only time people play on it is in the winter when the snowbirds come down here and enjoy themselves, and they've been doing it for years and years and years. Don't give away recreation property for housing development in the city of Leesburg, please. Thank you.
Evening. Thomas Brown, 1617 New Abbey, Leesburg. This is in regards to converting the Leesburg Shuffleboard complex to the tiny homes. Again, if the commission decides that's the route they need to pursue, it's highly recommended that we have an alternate shuffleboard facility. The area on the proposal was set up above or in between the warehouse and Lake TV for pickleball courts. That seems to be an adequate size for shuffleboard. Would need 20 courts, and it should fit in there. If we're going to make new courts, it would be highly recommended to do covered courts or enclosed courts. That saves money on the upkeep of courts and would benefit the city immensely. It would draw more people because it would be the only facility in the Northern District that has cover. There's facilities at Lakeland and St. Cloud that are covered, and there are enclosed facilities at Zephyr Hills and Betmar that you could use as an example. As I said, the cover helps reduce maintenance. I also think that if it is converted and the shuffleboard courts are put where the pickleball courts are designated, we could do a mentorship program with the youth who occupy the Pathways facility. We're at the end of our working lives. They're at the beginning. I think our club members would be excellent mentors for the young people, even if the facility doesn't go there. Again, there's a lengthy history of shuffleboard in Leesburg. As stated, it's been around since the 50s between Palmetto and Second. We need to keep courts open if you do decide to change things for this coming season through the end of March. And it would be ideal to have the new facility ready for the following season in October of '26. Thank you. We know you'll choose well.
Hi, my name is Roger Brown. I live at 3649 Fulcrum Place in the Villages, Florida. And I want to start off by thanking you for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I think we need more of that. I think, naturally, I'm here at the Shuffleboard Club. I've been to Florida 15 years. I'm from Ohio. What I want to say, maybe put a little different spin and give you some little ideas. I was sitting where you're sitting. I don't know, I haven't met or talked to any one of you. I don't know your titles. I do know that it's an important job. I've been there. I was the head of a planning commission, and I was a real estate developer. I know highest and best use. So I respect your jobs. It's not easy. I know that, and you always got a different opinion. So thank you for your service. A couple of things I'd like for you just to maybe consider. What I found out in my experiences being on the planning commission, I was involved in, I had to change an 80-year-old zoning law, which, as you can see, what that would be from the public. So I understand there's always going to be difference of opinions. I wouldn't know I know probably at least half these people in this room. I wouldn't know one of them if it wasn't for Shuffleboard. I've been here for 15 years. I was blessed to be a coach. I coached my son, my granddaughter, and I was on the school board. So I've been in both places. Here's what I'd like for you to consider. I think I just become aware of it, so I don't know how long it's been in the works. And I know some things that probably go back and forth as well. It's just a small group. Beware of that. A small group adds to a larger group. And like I said, I wouldn't probably be in this area if it wasn't for the Shuffleboard. I love the sports, I love the competition, and I think some of the things that we would like to do too is bring some more youth into it. I had 2 or 3 people this week ask me about Shuffleboard. I just become a pro, which takes a long time to do. I got 40 seconds left. Tough decision. I understand that. Thank you again for your service. 3 things I'd like to say to you. Number 1, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's a saying we all know. And there's also build it and they will come. I understand you're probably dealing with that. And what I had to guard against is influence that within my group that they would, it would make them better instead of the people overall. So last thing is, I forgot what it was.
Thank you, sir.
Maybe consider for another 6 months. It
appreciate
seems
your
like
time,
an awful
Mr.
quick
Brown.
decision. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
Appreciate your time.
Before the next speaker comes, I just want to ask Commissioner Burry, what are your intentions at this meeting regarding the Shuffleboard?
So I'm going to give direction to the city manager and Grant, our attorney, to draw up a warranty deed that is non-transferable in perpetuity and that has a 5-year for substantial commencement reversion clauses in it. I don't know how long that takes to do that. Grant could give me direction, but then that deed would come back before the commission where we actually have an item on the agenda that we would be able to vote on, because tonight this is conversation.
City manager or city attorney, when would that be available for?
I think we could probably have the deed drawn up fairly soon. So I'd say within the next couple of meetings, we could have that available.
Okay.
Yeah, I would suggest, I know that'd probably be an item that the full commission needs to consider. Mr. Peterson, I know, is going to be gone their July 28 meeting, so if Grant can have it ready for, I think the next bus is August 11. Is that right, Andy?
Yes, sir.
So
I don't know the August 11th means good for me.
Are you going to be gone that meeting as well?
Very possibility.
So
The second
August.
August meeting, we can certainly have it ready.
Is someone else gone August 25th? No? Okay. So the
Well,
August 25th.
So let me get this straight. What are you proposing here?
I'm proposing,
Refrain from comments. We're discussing something.
so
I'm sorry.
I would like a warranty deed drawn up for the property in question to give it to Forward Paths with a non-transferable in perpetuity, so they cannot give it to someone else or sell it to someone else. And I would like a 5-year maximum for substantial commencement. If they don't do anything with it for 5 years, it would come back to the city.
So, okay, just so I'm clear, Jimmy. So you want a warranty deed that basically is out there for 5 years. If the property's not developed within 5 years, it comes back to the city, but during that 5 years, we wouldn't really want to put any improvements on the property because we may not own it after 3 years. And I mean, I know there's one of the things in the workshop right now for capital improvements for $1 million to put back in the site to include pickleball courts and resurfacing the tennis and the shuffleboard courts. I think that's a lot to ask to put it on hold for 5 years to see if there's any funding that comes up out of over 5 years and not put any improvements back in the site when it's already tentatively in the workshop budget to move forward and for the $1 million, and let's renovate this site into a recreational sports complex.
So,
Point of order, I don't know what
there-
we're talking about, Doctor. We can't even hear you to start with, but this is public comment time.
we're,
Not time to bring up something about.
I respect your comment, Mr. Polk, but we're having discussion right now. Thank you. So, I asked this because this is
I
actually gonna have to
understand
come
if
to a
it-
We're
vote.
just trying to let everybody know when it would come back.
Because
Because
there's no
tonight, this
vote
is a
going to happen on it
discussion.
tonight.
Just a discussion.
I get that.
So,
I
and
get
I
that.
You know, trying to
respect
make
everyone's
things-
comments. So I just wanted to put that out there. So it looks like, per the city manager and the city attorney, if you're gone the August 11th meeting, it'll happen on the August 25th meeting. So, all right. You can-
So that's the direction, so, and that will call the question, and however the commission wants to proceed, so if everybody wants to give the 3-minute spiel or wait till August 25th, you know, it's kind of up to them.
Yeah, I think the purpose of the mayor's comment was partly, I appreciate the passion for Shuffleboard, but I recognize every one of you. I've heard all these comments 2 times before, and I guess what we're saying is there's going to be a 4th time to hear them. So I think that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah. Tonight's
Yeah.
no vote. There's no
Tonight's a no vote.
Correct. All right. So if you wish to continue, you have that right. So continue, sir. Thank you.
So just,
Oh,
but
sorry.
that's the direction, just for staff's level, that was the direction from a commissioner to call a question that brings a formal resolution that the body will consider in a formal vote that will be publicly advertised on the agenda for August 25th.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We'll go back to public comments. Yes, sir.
Mayor and council members, I would like to appreciate the fact that you've given me the chance to speak in behalf of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club.
Can you state your name and address for the record, sir? Name and
Okay,
address.
my name
for
is
the record.
Charles Wood. I live at 2537 Buttonwood Road in the Villages, Florida, 32162. And I've been given the great honor here to read to you tonight this letter, which was provided by the president of the Shuffleboard Club. Her name is Gail Howell, and she is up north taking care of her daughter who's got cancer. So she could not be here. So let me just read this letter very quickly. It says, I'm Gail Howell, president of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. I am presently in New Jersey helping take care of my daughter who has cancer. However, I hope you will listen to my plea for the Leesburg Shuffling. Shuffleboard was new to me when I arrived in Florida 16 years ago, and it's captured my heart. As an athlete, I love the competition and admire those shufflers who have learned the curves and speeds of the courts. It was exciting. I was admired by friendship I made with shufflers up to 92 years of age. Shuffling is a serious activity for us older citizens. I even played with a cane while I was having a hip operation, such therapy. I also love teaching the children and newer players, and even my children with many grandchildren who come to Leesburg. They are learning but still can't beat me. I have made many friends with all over Florida in playing state meets and welcoming them to come to our courts in Leesburg. We are also known for our sloppy joes and pulled pork sandwiches that we serve at the tournaments. We have 3 district tournaments and 3 state tournaments, each which provide our motel and restaurants flourish with members coming from distant places. It would be terrible if the Leesburg court I'm watching the time. The Leesburg courts were closed. Many of the other courts, both private and city courts, have recently been renovated to improve their play. Why should Leesburg be any different? We were once the epitome of shuffleboard courts. Please do not deny the seniors and future citizens the right to play. We have new members coming almost every week, and we teach all of our people the tricks and true meaning of shuffleboard. We all work hard to maintain the courts, and so I think that I pretty much covered
If
it.
you would like to give us that letter, we can disseminate that between the
Yes,
commissioners.
yes, I'd like to
If
do
you want
that.
to set it right there on that corner of the shelf.
Over there, just put it on the
Just put it right there on the desk, sir, and we'll disseminate that to all the commissioners. Thank you, Mr. Wood.
Madam Clerk.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing me to speak, Mayor and Commissioners. My name is Stephen Clark. I live at 109 South Lake Drive in Leesburg. First, I must correct a misstatement I made during last Thursday's budget meeting. I incorrectly stated that 16 courts are required for pro tournament play, where the actual requirement is for 18 playable courts. If new facilities were provided, realize I haven't encountered one yet where all of the courts produced were playable for tournament play. So it may be 20, 22, 24 courts that you'd actually need to put out to let us continue in the manner to which we've become accustomed. At that meeting last Thursday, several speakers referred to Shuffleboard as just a game. For those of us who play, it's far more than that. Shuffleboard is a community, a source of connection, a reason to stay active, and for me, an extended family. I know many others will speak of the profound personal and social benefits the club provides, and I will let their voices carry those stories. Over the years, I've served on numerous committees, commissions. I even served as a vice mayor. Throughout my public service, I made it a point to act with integrity and to be mindful of how my actions would be perceived. I recused myself from votes and even discussion of agenda items that would could even be have the appearance of a conflict of interest, because trust matters. That experience gives me the clarity to call out what others may hesitate to say. The current proposal has been compromised by a commissioner's failure to recuse themselves from deliberations and votes that either directly or indirectly benefit multiple family members. I tried to extend the benefit of the doubt, but that doubt was erased by a willingness to prioritize the interest of one at-risk group at the expense of another at-risk group. Furthermore, the attempt to push through a motion for a quitclaim deed before the proposal was even scheduled for a regular commission meeting raises serious questions about intent and process. I urge the commission to demonstrate the integrity and accountability that our citizens deserve, permanently table the current proposal, and establish clear guidelines for future site proposals, guidelines that protect against the real or perceived conflict of interest. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Phyllis Sokol-Wood. I live at 2537 Buttonwood Run in the Villages, Florida. I'm actually here to read a letter from my grandson. Commissioner Cannell asked if he could be here, which I think is an opportunity to show that the Shuffleboard Club is not for old people. This is a 15-year-old. Unfortunately, he's on vacation, fortunately for him, but unfortunately for us. But he has written something for me to read, so I'll read that now. I will read it. Okay. As a 15-year-old who has been part of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Court community for 6 years, I've come to see it as more than just a place to play a game. It's a unique spot where different generations connect, sharing stories and friendly competition. The court has taught me patience and strategy, skills that go beyond the game itself. Being involved here has shown me the value of community. I've learned from older members, hearing about their experiences and gaining a sense of local history. It's rare to find a place where teenagers and seniors interact so naturally, learning from each other and building relationships. The Shuffleboard Court provides that special environment. Moreover, it's a place where everyone can participate, regardless of age or ability. It's not about being the best. It's about enjoying the game and the company. This inclusive atmosphere has made me feel like a valued member of the community, and I appreciate the sense of belonging it has given me over the years. So that's from a 15-year-old person. And I just want to agree with the speaker before me speaking about conflict of interest. We're all concerned about that.
Thank you, ma'am. Before we go to the next public comment, the city attorney would like to speak.
Yeah, thank you. I just want to jump in and let everybody know that we've gone through this conflict discussion. I've gone through that discussion with Commissioner Burry. We've gone through the intricacies and everything that is dealing with that statute, and we've come to the determination that there's not an actual conflict of interest at this point. So you're all welcome to review the statutes and everything, but I want to jump in and point out that we have gone through the discussion. I've had the discussion with him. He's gone through the situation, the fact-intensive analysis, and determined that there's not an actual conflict of interest here. So I just want to point that out and would appreciate if everybody would kind of read up on the situation before pointing fingers and calling something a conflict, because that is a very serious accusation that can carry a lot of trouble for people. So just want to point that out. We've talked about it, we've looked at it, and we're comfortable that there is not an actual conflict of interest.
Great. You might want to touch on the financial. There's no financial consideration.
Really, it rests on whether or not there is a financial benefit that the commissioner's relative, an economic harm or an economic benefit. And in this situation, the relative in question does not draw a salary. They're not an employee. There are a couple of employees of this company, but this particular relative is not. They never have drawn a salary. And so that seems to really be where the distinction comes down in terms of whether or not someone is somewhat of a volunteer or whether someone is actually employed by that organization. Because the economic viability of the organization is more important if your paycheck is determinative on that particular fact. So the Ethics Commission has a number of decisions where they've looked at scenarios where people are essentially volunteers versus people drawing salaries. And typically when somebody is a volunteer as opposed to someone drawing salary, there is no economic benefit or economic harm to them, depending on whether or not the organization succeeds or not. There may be good feelings to them, but that's not the same as an economic benefit. So that's essentially the analysis that we've gone through. There is no economic benefit, there is no economic harm. And so since there's no economic benefit to the relative, there is no economic harm to the relative, there is no conflict of interest under the statutes.
Public will refrain from comments. Thank you. Thank you, City Attorney. Public comments can refrain.
Okay, my name is Lily Delosier, and I live at 1021 Ruhlman Loop in the Villages. I'm a new member to the Shuffleboard Club, and I'm so blessed to have found them and been invited to join. But I don't have a lot of additional information because you guys have been fed a lot of information about our desires. But one of the things that I found last Monday when I was here was there seemed to be an interest on whether or not we were Lake County residents or Leesburg residents. Well, I live in the Villages, but I'm in Lake Denham. I live in Lake County, and I pay Lake County taxes, and I pay Leesburg city taxes. So I feel like I have a viable reason to be here. And I think there's a lot of villagers that probably have that same scenario. They are Lake County residents. Our club is absolutely a good source of income for the city and the county. Besides the week-to-week playing at the courts, our tournament season begins in October and goes all the way to the end of March, pulling players in from far and wide, from Canada, just all over. And those people are here from 2-3 days. They have to have hotel rooms, they have to eat, they shop. All of that is income for Leesburg. I would respectfully request that these courts be maintained rather than torn down and relocated. And Forward Path take the time to find another suitable location for their tiny house. We all agree that the kids need to transition someplace out of foster, but I don't think it should be at the expense of all of us seniors. You know, we work to get here and enjoy our life too, and we're willing to share those courts with these kids. They can come and play and enjoy shuffleboard. the tearing down the shuffleboard courts is a huge financial cost to the city. You're going to build the tiny houses anyway, so cut your cost in half and don't destroy what we already have. Just build new houses and put it on property that you don't have to deconstruct. I really hope you'll take these matters into consideration because these shuffleboard courts have been a viable part of Leesburg since the 70s. And like these people have said, it's been an important part of our life. And to have it go away just doesn't seem fair. So thank you.
Okay, Mayor, commission members, my name's Daryl Kenyon. I live in Ocala, Florida. I've been a member of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Courts for 8 years now. I have a letter from one of the members of the Shuffleboard who couldn't be here tonight, from Christine Baumgartner. The Leesburg Shuffleboard Club has a long history in our city and an enviable reputation in the District of Florida players. Each year, there are numerous tournaments held on these courts, including state level and masters. There are 3 courts that every club loves to play on, and we are one of them. Our members are diverse ages and of various skill levels. Anyone is welcome to join, and players consistently teach anyone who is interested in the game. We have state-level pros who share their experience and pointers. Besides playing on the courts, our members work hard to maintain the courts and grounds, buildings, and equipment. Some of them have recently planted flowers and bushes and landscaped the ends of the main building. I have been a member for 5 years and have thoroughly enjoyed my experience. I live right up the street and drive down twice a week to play on these courts and meet with others who love them and the game. We need to be aware of the needs for exercise and brain stimulation for seniors. Shuffleboard provides that. Please do not eliminate this precious asset to our community. Respectfully submitted, Christine Baumgartner, Leesburg. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Christine Inga. I live at 107 Blanco Drive, DeLand, Florida. I would like to read you a letter from a Leesburg Shuffleboard member who is in Canada. Okay. Dear sirs, please do not forget our seniors. Over the past 16 years and since my retirement, my wife and I have been wintering in Leesburg, Florida. The main reason we have chosen to stay in Leesburg is shuffleboard. During my years of being involved with shuffleboard, I have been so inspired by the people who play this sport. Shuffleboard is a unique game. It requires hand-eye coordination, reasoning skills to outfox the opposition. It is not like pickleball, tennis, team sports that require physical dexterity, good motor skills, strength, or a great degree of stamina. So over the years, I have played with folks from all ages right up to the age of 100. As a case in point, I refer to a lady named Doris Hankey. Doris was a long-term Leesburg winter resident who was a wonderful ambassador for the game of shuffleboard and the city of Leesburg. Doris played shuffleboard until she passed away at the age of 93. She was a member of the Northern District, Florida State, and International Hall of Fame. Doris was also recently a team captain in the International Team Championship played in Canada. Her team won her division. Doris was a regular player at the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. I have also played with persons having all sorts of disabilities and ailments. Over the years, I have played with people in wheelchairs, persons using canes, knee, leg, and arm braces. Once again, no other sport or game can accommodate persons with such disabilities. The Leesburg Shuffleboard facility is the hub for anyone wishing to play organized shuffleboard anywhere in Florida, north of Lakeland. So not only does Leesburg Club have regular club play, they also host Northern District and state tournaments, and in the past have hosted the Tournament of Champions and Masters tournaments. Tournaments typically are completed in 2 days. This requires that persons traveling long distances stay overnight at motels, hotels, etc. So there is somewhat of a financial impact to the community. It is my request that compassion be shown and the Leesburg Shuffleboard facilities be left intact for the benefit of Leesburg residents and the seniors who have.
Thank you, ma'am. You can submit the letter for.
Okay, thank you.
If you would like.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Joe Enga. I live at 107 Blanco Drive, DeLand. I am the president of the Northern District Shuffleboard Association. I don't want to repeat everything you've heard. You have a hell of a task in front of you, and I hope that you make the right decisions. What I do want to bring to you is really what shuffleboard is. You have Leesburg. The Northern District is comprised of about 5 counties, 1,000 members. In the state of Florida, there's more than 8,000 people that play shuffleboard. There's 27 states that play shuffleboard. So a lot of people. Yes, they're mostly seniors, but that's because they have the time. We do have younger people coming in, like you heard from one letter before about the 15-year-old. In my club in DeLand, we have a couple of 30-year-olds. It's difficult because they work, okay? But I got to tell you, in all my travels, we're pretty much a self-efficient group. Even last year when you had the hurricane in here and you had some damage to the clubs with the awnings and the lights came down, a bunch of 65-plus-year-olds came down to remove the stuff to get a tournament off for Monday. I don't see it, and I come to the tournaments here in Leesburg and all over. They're not a burden on the police. They're not a burden on the fire. They really take care of everything else. They're outside exercising and fresh air. It's camaraderie. It's getting together, okay? I ask you as the president of Northern District that you do not eliminate the club, that if you're going to lose the courts for these houses, okay, relocate them elsewhere. But before you move whatever you're going to do with the houses, have the other courts built so this can continue. You have to keep something going for the seniors. They're out there in fresh air, camaraderie, getting together. I can't tell you how many people come after their spouse dies. Now they're bored. They come over and they mingle with people. They meet other people. They live. They don't sit home and die. They don't sit home and play games on their computers, okay? So I ask you keep the Leesburg Shuffleboard intact. If it's not at the current location, at another location. And get the other location up before you close the current spot. It does bring a lot of people and business into your city. They have many tournaments here. I play in them. My wife and I, when we come over from DeLand, we stay overnight. We patronize the restaurants. We do shop. It does bring business in. It's not trouble. It is not trouble. I urge you to please to think this through and do not eliminate the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. They're viable and they're very good. And I'll tell you, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if one of you sitting up there don't come down and play when you're done and retired looking for something to do other than just playing golf. And you're certainly not going to be out there in 104, 105 degree temperatures, because I've also read the comments where say, I go by there and nobody's on there playing. It's seasonal. The big time is October, like you've heard, October through March, end of March. And you're not out there in 100 degrees. I wouldn't expect any senior to be out there and doing that. So there's a lot to this. I could go by basketball courts and say the same thing, and you could come back at me, and I don't want to do that. I'm asking you to keep this going for the people who are there, the future who are coming in, okay, and do not eliminate the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Patricia King, 5919 Flint Loop, The Villages. I have been asked to read a letter. Dear Leesburg City Commissioners, we are Andy and Connie Hakes, and we are from Ohio. We are snowbirds, and we winter for 5 months in Leesburg. It has come to our attention that the Leesburg City Commissioners are looking at alternative plans for development at the land where the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club currently exists. It saddens us greatly that this is even being considered because these courts and club mean so much to so many. We selected Leesburg mainly because of the shuffleboard program Leesburg offers. Leesburg Shuffleboard Club is known throughout Florida as having some of the best shufflers in Florida. Taking this program away from the city could cause many of us to relocate and look elsewhere for a program as meaningful as Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. Although we are snowbirds, the 5 months we stay in Leesburg, we spend thousands of dollars in lodging, restaurants, retail stores, and entertainment on a yearly basis. Not only does this include us, but others in the club do the same. The city of Leesburg benefits in revenue generated by the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club members, as well as the tournaments they host. The tournaments bring in many players from across Florida to participate in while they are in Leesburg. They too spend thousands of dollars. Leesburg Shuffleboard Club is not just a roster of members, it is a family. Not only do they play shuffleboard together, but they break bread together and they support each other during times of need. The club is very meaningful to each other, and it is a support base for physical, mental, and emotional wellness. Taking this away from so many would be detrimental to so many of its members. Shuffleboard has become a lifestyle for so many of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. The club has been in existence since the 70s at the existing location, and those that live adjacent to the courts have purchased their property knowing that the courts are there. For the city to come in and change the physical setting for the neighboring residents would change the ambiance. This change could affect the neighborhood's property values and cause some to relocate. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you listening to what we have to say today. I won't go into how important it is to
Can I get
shuffleboard
your name
members.
and address, sir?
My name is George Snyder. I'm a resident of Leesburg. I recently, 3 years ago, moved from Claremont, Florida. I was there president of that club for 4 years. We're missing out a lot here at Leesburg by not using the courts for some of the handicapped people and the special people and the high school. We got the high school involved at Claremont, and they found it very enjoyable as an extra sport and curriculum for the high school. We also had the special need folks that, not a special Olympics, but they came over and they were able, those that we were caring for in Claremont, and it has a day center. They would come over once a week and they would let them exercise, and it was amazing how coordinated many of those were and how useful it was to these special need people. So we're not making full use of the courts as we should, and we get a lot of gain from using them in that manner. My only other comment was that why are we destroying 100,000 plus buildings? Why are we taking down over 300 feet of fencing and tearing up concrete courts and in buildings as well, and destroy those and turn around and have to go through the expense of moving that concrete from the area and not only taking it down? The Shuffleboard Club started way before the 1950s here in Leesburg. It almost is one of the historic society type organizations. I just ask that consider all the things that we've discussed tonight before you make your decision. If you're going to leave the land set for 5 years, why not be an empty land that is not being used? It surely is available somewhere that would be more useful and fit better within the plans of the city. Thank you.
My name's Alan Dronsfield. I live at 3409 Nursery Place in the Villages, 32163. I am the vice president of the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. This morning I woke up to my computer and found a whole list of support letters that have come in all the way from Newfoundland supporting this club. I know those people personally. They're quality players. Anyhow, I'd like to read a one of the support letters because I think it really hits home rather than going over top of what everybody else has talked about. This letter comes in from St. Pete. St. Pete is the oldest club in the game. They've got 100 courts. 80% of them are playable. The buildings on that property were built by the membership. At that time, 8,000 to 9,000 members. Josh and I wanted to send over a letter of support for Leesburg. Please pass this along. Dear Commissioners, I'm writing to express my strong support for preserving and investing in the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. While the Shuffleboard has long been appreciated by seniors for its accessibility and social benefits, its appeal and health value extend far beyond the demographic. Today's shuffleboard, like pickleball, is enjoying a well-earned resurgence. It offers a unique blend of strategic thinking, physical movement, and social engagement that benefits people of all ages. Whether you're 25 or 85, the game challenges your mind, sharpens your focus, and encourages friendly competition. In a world where we're more digitally connected and socially isolated, Shuffleboard provides a valuable in-person outlet for meeting new people and building community. Communities that preserve, modernize shuffleboard facilities aren't just honoring tradition, they're interesting in wellness, inclusion, and recreational diversity. As someone who enjoys playing in tournaments and connecting with fellow shufflers, I can confidently say that courts like those in Leesburg are essential for growing the sport and welcome new
Thank you, sir.
new generation of players.
If you'd like to submit the letter for record, you can. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Jacob Bonning, 150 West Reading Way. I'm the president of the board for Forward Paths Foundation. After last week's meeting, I think we all left feeling bad for the shuffleboard group because it was pretty obvious that they're passionate about their sport. And they made it pretty clear that this was going to be taking something away from them and that they lose their ability to play tournaments in the area if these courts went away. Well, when I got home, I did a quick Google search and I found out that that's not really the whole story, that not only are there multiple locations for tournaments throughout Lake County, but there are multiple locations that hold tournaments in the city of Leesburg already. This has never been mentioned before, not even tonight. Tavares has tournaments where they have 20 courts. Mid-Florida Lakes, located in Leesburg, holds a tournament already. They have 18 courts. Hawthorne of Leesburg holds tournaments already. They have 24 courts. These courts that we're talking about right now are just one of many options that they already have for tournaments in the city of Leesburg. The Hawthorne Shuffleboard Club also has a Facebook page where this weekend they were asking for help with, and I quote, boosting our membership numbers at the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club because the mayor has asked for a membership list. They called for snowbirds and people from other districts to come to the meeting tonight, meaning people who don't live here, and to also sign up for the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club to help them inflate their numbers for tonight's meeting. People began replying, even posting their out-of-state home addresses saying, count us in. They're manipulating their numbers to make it seem like more people are playing on these courts than are actually playing on these courts. So the city will pay to maintain courts that very few people actually use. And I'm sorry, I understand. I see it, that you're passionate about this. I understand that this game is important to you. But you have options in Leesburg already. You have other places to play. We're so grateful for this generous consideration for this land from the city, and we plan to remain honest and transparent about our plans. We've talked a lot about why our project needs to be in the downtown area. Location is crucial for our project. This location is very similar to our Eustis location, which has seen a lot of great success. It's close to a main thoroughfare that offers accessibility for transportation, and it's walkable to downtown, close to job opportunities and school. At the end of the day, this is the city's property, and it's your responsibility to decide the lot's best use. Forward Paths plans to build a beautiful project that the city and our community can be proud of. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, I'm Lauren Ritchie. I'm a member of the Board of Directors of Forward Paths. I am here tonight to ask you if you will disregard any membership lists as part of your consideration when this comes up for a vote. I think that the Shuffleboard Club has improperly inflated these numbers. You can read about it on their page. They've done it pretty shameless, without any kind of shame. And I think it would be wrong to use those numbers to make a decision. But if you'd like to talk about numbers, and I would like to tell you that affordable housing in this county is pretty much non-existent. If you've got a kid who's tried to get a house to rent, you know this. The Orlando area has bounced in and out like every 6 months. They're either in the top 5, the top 10. They were even at the top #1 of least affordable places to live based on the amount of money that people draw in salaries. That's caused us a huge problem. Last year at this time, we were opening our 10 cottages over in the city of Eustis, and by the time that we got everybody moved, mostly from Leesburg to there, we were full, and we had to just keep what we had, mostly keep the housing that we had in Leesburg in order to accommodate the number of kids without homes. At that time, we had about 22, 23 kids. Today, we're housing 42. And this problem isn't going to go away. It's going to keep going up. We also pay $150,000 a year into the community for kids who, okay, maybe can make the rent, but run into a problem when they have to pay the electric bill. So we're supporting a whole lot more people than it actually appears. And I think it's just going to get worse over the time period. I'd like to clarify a couple other things. First of all, I think there's some concern that the property would be sitting there for 5 years. That is not the case. Forward Paths has the money in the bank today. We could pull this project out of the ground, I would guess, in 90 days. We're going to be building precisely what we've built in the city of Eustis because it works for us. Also, I'd like to point out that Mr. Watson, the attorney, gave an explanation of why there is no conflict of interest. And the main reason is that the executive director, Denise Burry, does not take a salary from Forward Paths, and neither do any of her children, who constantly help us, and neither does her husband.
Thank you.
So
your time is up. Your time is up. Thank you.
Yes, I see that, and I'm shutting up. Thank you. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
My name is Sharon Wild. I'll find it here. I live at 347 Hawthorne Boulevard. The comments that they mentioned were mine from Facebook. Not one person who has paid to become a new member or an existing old member of our Leesburg Shuffleboard Club is not a person who does not play on our courts on a regular basis. They always play in our tournaments. You have also decided that trying to say that we're trying to scam you. Okay, this is the off season for Shuffleboard. Most of our members are snowbirds. They are gone. We pay our dues in the fall. Okay, for us to have our membership current, I reached out and asked people, would you please pay your memberships earlier than later so that we would have official lists to give to you tonight. Okay, so I want to speak for all our club members. This is for Forward Path. None of us from Leesburg Shuffleboard Club are opposed to helping the youth transition from foster care. What we do oppose is placing a tiny Band-Aid on a problem that definitely needs more help than the size of our property can provide. Please find another property that can provide the most help to these youths. Moving the courts are only going to cost the city extra money that could be spent effectively elsewhere. I'd rather see more than 10 children, youths, be helped. An updated all-sports complex would be an excellent addition to this community. I'm chairperson at Hawthorne, okay? Hawthorne is private. These people cannot come unless we invite them into our courts. So stating that they have all these options to go play at, Mid-Florida is private, Hawthorne is private. They can't just come there and play on our courts. The other thing that they mentioned was the fact that there's multiple locations where they can hold tournaments. Okay, we have 27 or more tournaments a year in the Northern District. That's not counting all the state tournaments either, okay? We have to split those between the clubs so that they effectively are financially viable for us to support when these people come in to play at these clubs. We have to provide water, we have to clean the courts, we have expenses from the beads and things like that. That's why so many places here, we have 3 places that can play, we have to split those expenses. That's why we can't afford to lose the shuffleboard courts at Leesburg. So I hope that you guys think about it and decide that we really need to help these youths in a bigger picture than 1.7 acres can accomplish. Thank you.
I'm Carol Helfer. I live at 1841 Harding Path in the Villages, and I'd like to make a comment. I found Leesburg Shuffleboard in 2006. I became the secretary in 2016, which I have held that position currently. And I am the person that put together the membership things, and it was not an inflated thing. Sharon did get some money in, but we had 65 members before she did that, and now we have 73. So we're not talking about trying to scam anybody. The people that came in were already going to be members. They just were out of town, and they wanted to help, so they sent their money. I don't think that's a scam, and I don't appreciate it being called trying to scam you over. And the mayor asked about where we lived and how many lived in Leesburg. I provided that. But I want you to know, I live in the Villages, but I also belong to St. Paul's Catholic Church in Leesburg. I also volunteer at the hospital here in Leesburg, and my husband, who has a plane, parks his plane at the Leesburg airport. We are here in Leesburg all the time. I do more things in Leesburg than I do in the Villages, but our home is in the Villages, but I don't think it matters where your bed is. I think it matters what you support. Okay, I have a vision. If we kept this complex the way it is and fixed up the courts, I think that we could make it a wonderful recreation complex. Why don't we add cornhole? That's a cheap alternative, but people like to play cornhole. You could have that. We have some land that we don't use in the yard. We could put cornhole things. You could also have a couple bocce courts. What about having a couple outdoor exercise equipments for people to use? We can get things that are simple, they don't cost a lot of money, but more people could come down and have this recreation complex. Pickleball and tennis, all could be included there, and I can visualize people coming to this complex to enjoy themselves and to have fun. Tearing down the courts and moving them is such a expensive proposition when it's already there And building another one, I mean, you might talk $500,000 to build another complex because it's expensive to build those courts. I don't know, the city, I asked the clerk today when I dropped off the list of the membership, if there was any kind of a thing that the Leesburg did with the club when we took it over in 1985. I don't know if you had a chance to find anything, but I just asked that question. Anyway, I can see a great vision out there.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Hello, my name is Nathan Gauger, 1318 Quail Court, the Villages, Florida. The Villages, oddly. Not here for Shuffleboard. More here to talk about the incubator that's currently next door. My understanding is that an incubator here is to build businesses and help businesses flourish, specifically here in Leesburg. I am a CPA. I run Blue Heron CPAs. And my real goal is to help this community and the thriving financial community that's really needed here. During my tenure, I've found $300,000 to $500,000 worth of theft. I have found $1 million worth of missed refunds that should have been filed for, and I have found $3 million worth of tax fraud from tax preparers that have been providing incorrect information against IRS guidance so that people can get more refunds, because who wants more money in their pocket? And then you get the IRS breathing down your neck in 5 years. Goals to really provide information to people in this area. I have been in that incubator for the past 3 years. I'm currently up for renewal. I've been attempting to get this renewal in front of you for about the past 3 months. We've been discussing. I don't think it's fair to pay $65 to $70 a square foot for an incubator space. I understand I am under the limitation of what originally the grant had suggested. I am under 5 years old. I am trying to provide to this community as far as a financial resource. There are only 20 registered CPA firms in the Lake County. I don't know if you guys realize that, but this is one of the most needed services, and your citizens currently travel to use this, travel to Orlando, travel everywhere else, because there is not a resource that they can talk to. So I am willing to pay what is essentially $30 to $35 a square foot. I'm sure that there's a real estate person that's here that sees that as reasonable. Whenever you lift the ceiling tiles, you can see the sky, and occasionally it rains. I'm not arguing about that. That does not matter to me. I can deal with that. I am just purely looking for what is the smallest office in the entire incubator to have meetings where I am there for 30, maybe 40 days out of the entire year. I'm also willing, as part of that, I'm willing to pay $250 a month. I'm also willing to provide these small businesses 2 hours of my time every single month, so long as the incubator manager or the other economic development entity that is in there, which is LEAD, is willing to set those up and make them aware of it. That is 2 hours. I am a CPA. I was voted as one of the top 15 young CPAs in this entire state, and I got an award from the FICPA. Currently, that incubator has only had 3 for-profit businesses that have been in 3 rooms, whereas 10 of those rooms are currently occupied by economic development agencies not working towards building in those offices. Thank you all.
G-A-U-G-E-R. Yeah, just on that last one, I think Mr. Gallagher was looking for some direction from the commission. So let me just fill in a couple gaps. So, Mr. Gallagher, am I pronouncing that correctly? Gallagher. Well, minor, minor, I feel your pain. So, Mr. Gallagher, obviously his lease expires in the incubator August 31st of this year. Blue Heron, his company, had a incubator lease for 3 years. The framework of that was the first 2 years were a rent of the room for $300 a month, and the last year at $350 a month. Those are standard lease rates that we charge for the incubator, with the process of supporting businesses that are growing. In my discussions with the applicant in his seeking to extend his lease, I kind of think that it crossed a little bit of a precipice. While Mr. Granger does all those things that he said. I don't doubt it. Obviously, I think those are indicative of a business that's thriving well. In the past, when renewals have come before this body, the commission has balked a little bit about renewing leases on the precipice that the incubators for growing businesses that need an advantage to start up. So I had the discussion with the applicant, and I sent him a lease concept that would extend his lease for $400 a month for the first year, $500 a month for the second year. He rejected that concept, and I then put together a lease and sent it to him last week based solely on his request, $250 a month for 1 year. That is sitting in his mailbox. I had not returned it. So if the commission wants that lease executed, let me know. You could probably give me the authority to execute that this evening, and that lease can be done. If you agree with the applicant's argument that they do more for economic development, they help businesses, I get all that, but then I would just need your direction. So essentially, this is really a case of a staff negotiation didn't meet the intent of the applicant, and that applicant is now before you all seeking higher relief than and that staff was me, than I was willing to give. So whatever your direction is, we can move forward.
I have the lease right here. It is signed. There was a lot of additions to it. I got this lease on Friday, I think.
On
at
Wednesday.
3 o'clock, and it was told to me to be returned by the end of the day, which was 2 hours. With the fact that there were add-ins in the first paragraph, I felt like I needed to read the lease.
Okay.
Mr. Granger, the lease was the exact same thing as you already previously signed, and the modification was on the rent.
Can I get that written down?
It's in your hand.
Okay, we're not going to go back and forth. I respect both sides. I'm going to take it back to the commission. Are there?
This is just an effort to help. I was trying to look it up online. I'm a commercial realtor. I don't really know this space per se, but there is space in downtown Leesburg on Main Street. I think it starts at looks like you know. It's either 250 or 350, but I was trying to look it up. I don't know, but I would encourage you. You know what I'm talking about?
They're looking at 400 to 450.
Okay, I just want to be sure you're aware of it. Okay.
I have a question about repairs. Are they needed? Do we have any repairs? Are you saying that it was issues? Are we aware?
They haven't come to my attention. I can speak to Sandy more about, if we've got issues over there. They haven't come to my attention.
Because that would be something that we would really want to look into.
Understood. They haven't come to my attention.
Well, I would just ask that, we're under public comment here. I think we're going to have a further discussion. I would like to know more information. Can we put it on the next agenda to actually formally discuss this?
Do you want the lease draft on the agenda?
I would prefer that than what we're doing right now.
Then we can have a little back.
Yes.
All right. So it'll be on the July 28th agenda, per the commission. All right. Thank you.
Do you want it on July 28th, or you want it on the next meeting? On the 25th?
July 28th is the next meeting, correct?
July 28th.
Yeah.
He'll be gone. And then he'll be gone August 11th. So
Do you? Okay. I can ask the applicant if he wants to wait. Do you want to wait till a full commission, or do you? One commissioner will be gone.
It's a $6,000 item. I think you guys probably have bigger things to fry.
All right. We'll put it on the next agenda for discussion. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to support the city manager, so I don't need to be here.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Denise?
Thank you. Denise Burry, 401 Sunnyside Drive, Leesburg, Florida, 34748. I'm never ready for this conversation, but this is, I'll call it NIMBY, not my backyard. I know a lot of you will understand where I come from because you're familiar with me, but a lot of them are not. Although some of them I would have thought would be more familiar with me by now. But I want to give the conversation that my mother-in-law encouraged me to give because the conflict of interest has come up, and I feel like somewhat I have to explain how we got here. After the birth of my sixth son, I lost my closest friend to a car accident. And I don't know if you've ever lost somebody at the spur of the moment, but she had 4 younger children, the same age as ours. So for about a year, I helped take care of them. And I talked my husband into adopting, and we adopted 2 children. Shortly after that, I had somebody come to me and say, "You make a great guardian ad litem," and I had no idea what a guardian ad litem was, but that's somebody who represents children in the dependency court system. And being told twice, I took that job on, and then my first kid aged out of foster care, and I had no clue. You're so worried about the day-to-day. And I was convinced if the community understood what happened, there would be a change. So we formed a nonprofit. My son was one of the first directors. I consider myself blessed, and that's why we adopted. That's why I became a guardian ad litem. Never did we make money. Florida was privatizing. We had to adopt outside the country. But that's why I do what I do. That's how we got into Forward Paths, working with homeless youth, working with kids aging out of foster care. We have hosted 6 homeless kids in our home and 5 exchange students when they became in crisis in the high school that my other kids attended. We do this to make a change. My son has sponsored more than one of the houses that we built, and my mother-in-law sponsored another one. That's my son's donated over $100,000, and my mother-in-law right around the same amount of money. So we're a family that puts our money where our mouth is. I don't have that kind of money, but we are financial donors, and I give 100% of my time. My family's moved more kids than you'd like to know. My kids, I say, the youth I work with, they're young adults. But I want to tell you what they do in Eustis, and I'll go through this quick. We have 10 people that work in a bistro, 1 in a pharmacy, 2 in a gas station, 1 as a machinist, 1 at Kroger. We have 9 youth that work in hospital or rehab situations, 3 camp counselors, 2 at a car dealership, 1 UPS, 1 dollar store, and 2 that entered the military. They both will be stationed in Japan. They're in special training right now. This is why we do it. I'm sorry that this has caused the amount of pain that it has. I am dedicated to the youth. I took a vow. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, my name is Barbara Lafferty. I live at the Oak Ridge Condominium Community, which is a wonderful community, with the exception that we're right next to Berry Park. My home is the very last one on Mount Clair, and I'm just a few feet away. We moved here from Texas 2 years ago, and it has been a living hell. I can't even explain the horrible noise that we have to endure. I have a 90-year-old older relative that I care for that's practically dementia, and she's not doing well because of the noise. My husband has had 3 heart attacks in 1 year. We just don't know what else to do. It's to the point where it's like mental torture with the vibration and the loud noise, and this can go on all day and into the night. And I have called, I'm sure my name is there many times. And it's not just the noise. We got gunfire. We'll be outside and we run in and just, okay, so what's going to happen now? I don't know how else to explain that. It's just unbearable, and unfortunately, we're going to be forced to move. So, it's entirely up to the city. They should have some kind of code for noise, some kind of limit, day or night. They should have someone enforcing the code. If there is any, from what I hear, there's no noise ordinance in Leesburg. So other than that, I just don't know what else to do except ask you to please look into it. We don't want to move. We love it here, but just can't take it. It's a vibration that rattles the whole home. My dishes are rattling, and it's not fair. Anyway, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
I'm Darrell Crane, 2005 Helms Avenue. The shuffleboard courts have been a part of the Leesburg recreation for as long as I can remember. I've lived here for 70 years. They've been a part of Venetian Gardens, and they've built a club around them. And to take that away, to me, kind of feels like you're saying Well, what about going down to the ball field, Pat Thomas Field? Would we give that away? Would we do something with that? Because it doesn't feel a lot different to me. These people are passionate. They have been there. They've done everything. I've worked with them over 30 years of working with the city of Leesburg. They've always been good tenants. And I don't understand why we would take their facility away from them without looking if there was another usable area that could be donated, if that's what you want to do. I hope that you'll think about this hard and make the right decision. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
My name's Rick Tallman, 655 Abdallah Way, the Villages, Florida. Again, I'm here for the Leesburg Shuffleboard Club. I'd like to remind all of you that you have a vision and a mission statement on your website. To be a diverse community, energetically working in collaboration to ensure that the city of Leesburg upholds its history, and you've heard about the history of Shuffleboard here. The ambiance and natural resources become and stay a vibrant community. Then you have your mission to provide effective and efficient municipal services that promote public safety, economic growth, and quality of life. We're talking about the quality of life for seniors here for this game. You have a number of goals listed. The first ones are about utilities and stuff. But then goal number 4, utilize Leesburg's natural resources and slogan as the lakefront city to enhance recreational and leisure amenities. We're asking you to enhance, not drive by and say how bad the shuffleboard courts look. That's on you. And okay, goal number 5, foster an environment where local governance is collaborative, transparent, and physically sound. The reason we're all here is because of what happened last Thursday. It was totally unethical. It was a workshop, a budget workshop meeting where Commissioner Burry tried to make a motion to put in a quitclaim deed at a workshop meeting. It was stopped. Then it was tried to be put on the agenda for this meeting. Yes, it was. You have minutes of the meeting. It was tried to be added to this agenda, and it was said, no, it couldn't be done. Okay, then we go back to your mission statement for recreation. The Recreation Department's mission is to enhance the quality of life for Leesburg citizens by providing affordable, high-quality recreation facilities, programs, and services. Now we go over to your Susan Street project, which aims to provide exceptional facilities for the youth of Leesburg while fostering economic growth through sports tourism. You've heard all the people that are coming here to play these tournaments. That is sports tourism. That's all I've got to say. But I would like to say one other thing. What happened at the workshop meeting, that really was what brought all these people out, because that seemed to be on a whim to make a motion to pass that night without it being on the agenda. It's not really.
Thank you, sir.
Can I respond to that, Mr. Mayor? And I don't, I think really from a staff level, this is what, it needs to come from the staff level. If the commission wants to pontificate further than that however you may do. But, the perspective on the workshop meeting is this is an example of good government and transparency. It's the opposite of what the last speaker just complained. Commissioner Burry brought up the concept and did ask at that meeting on Thursday to have the warranty deed brought up and made a motion. I was the one who corrected him sitting in Grant's seat over there saying, Commissioner, you can't do that. This is a workshop.
Correct.
The commissioner accepted that. A couple other things were discussed about whether or not it could be brought to this meeting. My recollection of that context was Grant wouldn't have had time to write up anything for this meeting. And I think I recommended to the commissioner that he bring up the issue at this meeting as a directive, not as an opportunity to skirt one by the public. So I think any interpretation other than what I just said is an incorrect interpretation of this body and the process. And I think quite to the contrary, the city of Leesburg does an excellent job at transparency and informing people of when controversial topics are going to happen, whether they're moratoriums that Commissioner Connell brought up, which I also mentioned at the meeting, or whether they're quitclaim or warranty deeds that this body wanted to bring up. And then this commission's going out of its way to agendize this with giving plenty of public notice. So I think the public can like or not like their decisions, but to insinuate that they're trying to trick the public or not be transparent with totally the wrong interpretation of what happened at a workshop is incorrect.
Have all the residents in the area
Public comments are
been notified?
closed. Thank you.
Now, can you clarify that? I mean, I don't understand. I asked you to put a temporary stay on housing on the agenda 2 weeks prior to, so I don't understand how you're
believe-
lumping me into this
no,
conversation.
Well, so let's go back to that conversation. And I think my comment was I play pretty loose with the commission on directives of how you want to put things on the agenda. Commissioner Cannell's request for a moratorium was a one-member request for a resolution. He didn't come to the body on their opinion on whether the question should be asked in a formal forum. He directed me to put a resolution on the agenda. That agenda was requested, and that request was satisfied by me and brought to the body.
And it was put on the agenda with a 2-week notice to the public. I didn't put anything on the agenda the last second. No, I want a clarification of
and
that.
in similar fashion, Commissioner Burry directed in a public meeting that he wanted something done, and he was told by me about how you should and shouldn't go about doing that. So I do think those requests were similar in procedural nature. If this body wants to be more specific, then you guys should discuss amongst yourself how you want to inform the city manager on how to agendize items. You know, so we can do work items, or we can take the singular approach like we've done, which has worked pretty well. I think what does need to be called on the carpet, though, is this body works extremely well. You guys have worked extremely well with me. We've been very liberal about how we agendize stuff. One commissioner can ask, and it's put on the agenda. So every opportunity, Commissioner Connell, that you got for the moratorium, Commissioner Berry and these folks are getting as well. In fact, they're getting even more notice because the matter's not even be discussed until August 25th. And it came up in a workshop, and that's where these type of things are germinated, discussed, and then sent to a regular meeting where they're formally opined. So to put out in the public anything contrary that that's not good government is incorrect.
Well, I'm not here to speak about this
And I
situation.
think you would agree with that
I'm
process.
here to clarify a comment you made about me. I asked for something to be put on an agenda. It was on the agenda 2 weeks prior to the meeting. I did not ask for a vote at a meeting that there wasn't even it wasn't even on the agenda. It just came out of the blue. I mean, I was very transparent on what I wanted. That's why I asked for it to be on the agenda for public comment and public knowledge leading up to this meeting. So I don't appreciate you trying to lump me in with whatever is being insinuated here tonight. That is absolutely apples to oranges of what I did. So I want to get on the record with you. If that's what you think, me and you are way on different pages.
Well, typically, Commissioner, we are.
You're exactly right. We are typically. You're right.
And Commissioner Burry had the same issue that you did.
No,
It
sir.
discussed in a public forum.
It was handled differently. I'm not saying anything against Commissioner Burry on how he handled it. I'm not here to speak with Commissioner Burry. I'm here to clear the record because this is twice now in the last 2 meetings. You've tried to insinuate I did something underhanded, and it's absolutely not true.
Well, I think it's the only thing I'll end on this, Commissioner. You
Please
obviously
do.
one of the bosses. I did not insinuate you did anything underhanded.
Well,
did not.
I have a disagreement with how
No,
you
I did
present
not.
the last 2 times.
That's not insinuation
Yes,
of
it is.
underhandedness.
Yes, it is.
It's procedural.
Well, thank you.
I do have a question. If perhaps the president of the organization, I just had a question regarding the shuffleboard courts. Are you the president or?
No, she's
who?
not here. She's
So you're from DeLand?
vice president here.
Okay,
President
yeah.
of Northern District.
Just somebody, please, that can speak for the club. Just have just a couple of routine questions that I need clarifying. So why are there locks on the gates at the shuffleboard court?
Why are they what?
Locks. Locks. The
Gates
shuffleboard-
aren't locked. They're your city locks, not our locks.
You've never locked the facility?
Amy, what was her last? Fleck? When she was deputy director of Public Works, we had some problems with homeless coming into our hallway and setting up camp. They had cushions on the ground, microwave. He moved right in on us. Amy came over and put the city locks on those gates. Well, since then, they have been changed. The entrance to the facility on the asphalt at the south end, I took the lock off that we had on it because it didn't allow for any kind of an emergency vehicle to come in there. If one of these people fell, which they do, and hit the concrete, it hurts. So the only lock that's on that gate right now, the city lock, is on the west end. And that one, we don't come in and out of that gate.
So the general public can walk right in and play anytime?
They can if they bring their equipment.
Well,
The
like
gates are
like the
open.
tennis courts, we don't.
The gates are open. If they bring their tennis balls,
So
they
those
play
locks
tennis.
are never on the gates. That's what you're telling me.
They can walk right in the gate.
If you look at it, the chain is just hooked.
Okay.
The lock is there as a visual.
I did that. I took one of the links and I fake lock it. It's not locked.
So
All right.
TV is always open. Just wanted to make sure that the public, that you're asking us to maintain a facility that is the public's, that it is available to the public.
Yes, it is.
But the perception is it's locked up, is what you're just now telling me. It's not really locked, but we put a chain around it to look locked.
Okay.
The entrance to the Shuffleboard
I
Club,
understand.
the front entrance is a walk-through gate. It's wide open.
All right. Thank
Help
you, sir.
yourself.
Thank you. All right. We're going to close public comments and move to the consent agenda. Routine items are placed on the consent agenda to expedite the meeting. If the commissioner staff wish to discuss any items, the procedure is as follows. 1, pull the items from consent agenda. 2, vote on the remaining items with one roll call vote. 3, discuss each item pulled and vote by roll call. Are there any items the commission would like to pull this evening? Yes, sir.
I do have one.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's 5C10.
5C10. And if I need to also pull on behalf of the city attorney, 5C1.
Both of mine, those are both of mine.
So just 5C1 and 5C10 by Commissioner Cannell. Did
Those
you?
are both that I was questioning as
Yes,
well.
ma'am. If there's no other items, can I get a motion to approve the remaining consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Commissioner Connell,
Yes.
Commissioner Berry,
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson,
Yes.
Commissioner Berry,
Yes.
Mayor Reisman.
Yes. Would someone please introduce 5C1?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Thank you. Can we get the audience to remain quiet, please? Can I get the audience to remain quiet? Thank you.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, to authorize the City of Leesburg and the Leesburg Police Department to outsource the school crossing guards to All City Management Services, ACMS, and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. City Attorney?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for pulling this. Very briefly, I didn't have much on this, but we had one comment on cleaning up the indemnification section in the contract. Basically, we wanted to expand the indemnification protections. I understand that Captain Romanelli has discussed that with the contractor and has actually received a revised contract back now. We just haven't had a chance to clear that. So my suggestion would be that if the commission is agreeable to it, would be to entertain a motion to approve subject to attorney revisions on the indemnification section. And then as I said, I'd have an opportunity to look at the revision. I suggested language already, so assuming that's in line with what I'd suggested, I think we're probably good to go already. But that would be my suggestion.
Any commission comments or thoughts?
Sounds reasonable to me.
I had another question in reference to number 16 on that one. Okay, well, I'll let you finish with this one.
So this is for the crossing guards?
It was
So
on the contract.
If it's regarding this contract?
Yes, it's on the
ma'am, please go
contract.
ahead. Yes.
Number 16 on the contract, it was just a request, it was a question asking about the increase.
Contractor may request a price increase for this
Yeah.
term as a result of any legally mandated increases.
Yeah, would that be, I mean, what would be considered under that? Just a question, just for clarity.
Illegally mandated increase would probably be something statutory.
Okay.
Like change from the
I think the
state
idea is a
legislature.
state or a
That's
federal
what I was just
change
asking,
in
but
minimum wage.
nothing of any,
Yeah, nothing that we would do.
right.
Or we would want.
Right, 60 days, we would
60
be
days
notified
notice.
regardless. Okay, that's all, that was the clarity I
Yes,
would
ma'am.
like. Please.
That's right, and I also would note that this is terminable on 60 days' notice, so if something came back wonky with numbers, there's also a termination out for the city also.
Thank you for the clarification. Good question. All right, so we have a motion and a second. Would someone would someone open to making a motion with the city attorney's modification and
I
resolve?
move we accept the modification that city attorney has listed and to move forward with that vote.
Second. Any discussion on the modification? Seeing none. Any public comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes,
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Mayor Reesman?
Yes. Would someone please introduce 5C10?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Yes, thank you. You're good, though. No rush.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, approving execution of a vacant land contract for purchase of certain real property located on William Street and described more particularly in the contract and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. City manager?
Yeah, so this item is in reference to Susan Street, the Susan Street project. So as y'all know, when we endeavored to do the rectangle field concept at Susan Street, our initial entry plan sought to come into the park from US 27. For a number of reasons, that plan didn't work. We did actually a negative change order and determined there was about $500,000 to $750,000 savings to come in from William Street. The concept where we're going to come in from William Street was kind of a parcel that's kind of immediately behind the Pat Sales and between Pat Sales and the parcel numbered 1653380. That's the all-key number. We have about a 40-foot easement or strip of property that would give us access into Susan Street from that area. The commission approved that concept. The problem that we encountered with that concept was there is a utility pole that's right smack in the middle of our 40-foot easement. So we actually had two choices. Choice number one is to move the utility pole. The cost we've estimated to move the utility pole is about $85,000. However, I would be remiss to note that that's not a hard cash value of $85,000. There's three components that make up these type of relocations. A labor component, we pay labor no matter the project, whether the electric crew is trimming trees, putting lights back on after a storm, or moving poles, we pay those salaries. So they are cost, but they're kind of an inherent cost. Equipment, kind of the same thing. The digger derrick might be doing something different or what have you. So while labor and equipment, and they're each about $25,000 estimated of the project, and there's about $30,000 in materials. So there's a real material cost to move the pole. We negotiated a concept where there's a potential that we don't have to move the pole if we purchase the empty lot. So that was the one I mentioned, all key number 1653380. It's owned by a Mrs. Edmonds. If we shift and we purchase that empty lot, we can then shift the driveway into the empty lot, and there's not the need for the pole. So we negotiated with Ms. Edmonds for some time. Then we negotiated. She sent us to her real estate broker. We negotiated on that for some time, and ultimately, the best deal that we could bring forth for your consideration was the deal that you're considering tonight. It's $55,000, not to exceed $55,000. And some of the parameters in the deal have the contingencies based on your approval, based on not doing an appraisal, because the offer of $55,000 is considerably above market value. Market value on the lot's about $7,500 to maybe $10,000 for the lot. So why the delta in offer versus market rate? And it's simply because it makes sense for the city. It makes sense in terms of not having to relocate a major utility pole, and it saves the project about 30 grand. So you really have two options at this stage. If you move forward with the land purchase at the price, which Grant wrote up so that we would not spend one penny more than $55,000, and we shift some of the traditional costs over to the seller because of the substantial amount over market. If you buy the lot, we'll save a couple of dollars. If you don't buy the lot, at this stage, we'll relocate the utility pole. So it's either purchase the lot and save a couple of bucks and save some time, or move the utility pole.
Just to jump in briefly, if the decision is on purchasing the lot, there is an appraisal requirement as well that's sort of baked into the statutes. Because this property value is under $100,000, the commission can waive the appraisal requirement. So I think if the commission's will is to move forward with the purchase, that just clarifying that the commission also would be agreeable to waiving the appraisal requirement would be a good thing for this particular project, considering the numbers involved.
Thank you, City Manager and City Attorney. Commissioner Cannell and Commissioner Barry both pulled this, so.
Yeah. I have a general question. At that light, will that be the signage for entrance or just more roadway for what exactly will go there?
The bigger lot gives us more room to bring in, kind of will weave it in a little bit more, and it also gives us some room for signage.
Okay, so could we do both then? Like the sign to say where you're going as well as get in there? I mean, was that the intent?
It's probably a secondary intent. I mean, the primary purpose right now was to get into the property as cheaply as possible.
Well, I mean, would you be a signage to know you're going there?
Yes.
Okay.
Ultimately, we would probably, whether we can weave that in as part of the project, we'll see where we're at with our contingencies. But yeah, a sign is contemplated ultimately for that location, and having the lot would help put up a nicer sign.
Because the last we talked, we were considering the Griffin entrance because of the Williams. We weren't sure about the space of entering that way. That was our last meeting time. That's why I was asking. Would it be signage as well as an entranceway to get in?
At this time, the signage is not considered in the motion. It's just the purchase of the lot.
Just want to be clear. That's what I was asking. Thank you.
Yeah, the secondary exit to get to Susan Street seems to be a real problem here. Originally, it was proposed to come off of 27 through the Pizza Hut, Pat's, and all that kind of stuff. And I think there was a motion on the floor suggested by the city manager to pay for some engineering fees to lay out an easement across there. I had questioned why we would pay any engineering fees prior to getting with the property owners. I was given that's not the way you do it. I felt like that was the cart before the horse, but the commission voted to go ahead and move forward with spending money on consulting engineering fees before we even found out if the property owner was going to play ball. After the fact, we found out they're not. So then secondary option was come back in. Well, we can come through William Street. I believe I was told at the time that William Street was an easement that we had that was about 300 foot long to get back to Susan Street. So now we're here, and I have a question on, it's a 300-foot easement that we own, and it was being proposed to commission to use this as an alternative secondary route to get to Susan Street. How is it possible, over a 300-foot easement, that's our easement, that we did not know there's a utility pole in the middle of this thing that's going to cost $88,000 to move? How do we not know this? I mean, it's not like it's an underground utility of somebody else's. It's our utility pole. How did we not know it's there before we move forward to this stage? I don't understand that. I'd like an explanation when we get to that. If somebody can explain, it's not like this is a tree that grew there overnight. I don't know how we missed this. Or option two is we can overpay about 5 times the amount for a piece of property of what it's worth to get around this pole. I'm just baffled on how we would not know a utility pole is in the middle of just over 300 foot. We're not talking about 30 miles or even 3 miles of right of way or utility easement. We're talking about 300 feet. How can we not know a pole's there? That's it.
Any commission comments before we open up for public comments? Any public comments on these items? Seeing none, we'll take it back to the commission. Any further commission comments? Seeing none, we will have a roll call.
Just
sorry.
If you're going to, as the city attorney advised, you might want to amend the motion to include waiver of the appraisal.
Yes, thank you, Al.
Anyone like to do?
So I'll make a motion, we amend 5C11 to add a waiver of an appraisal requirement.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second on the waiver of the appraisal. Any discussion from the commission?
I just wonder if there is a reason why we didn't know our own utility pole was in the middle of this thing.
Yeah, I can provide the answer. The easement is not 300 feet. It's about 40, 50 feet wide by about 100 feet long.
Well, that makes it worse.
And the reason we missed the pole was because we missed it.
I would call this ordinary course of business for private sector and government, and point out that Commissioner Cannell will attack our city manager any chance he gets.
Easy now, Mike, okay?
It's factual, it's fair.
It's a question on why we missed a pole being in a utility easement that we were planning on using as a secondary exit. We already approved to use it for an entrance and exit. This is the 11th hour again. We're being told that now this exit or entrance doesn't work for whatever reason. It was a question, Mike, and I don't appreciate you attacking me, okay? It's a question I had for the city manager, and I want an explanation, and I guess he gave it to me.
No, I did give it to you.
Yes,
We missed
exactly.
it.
Exactly. That's all I wanted.
Okay. So we have a motion to amend with the appraisal waiving.
And I said 5C11, it's 5C10.
Okay, clarification for 5C10. Andy got that. And did we have a second on that, Jimmy, Commissioner Burry? Did you
Yes,
that?
second.
So no further discussion. Roll call on that item.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
No.
Commissioner Burry?
Yes.
Mayor Reisman?
Yes. We're going to move to public hearings and non-routine items. During public hearings and non-routine items, the commission requests that those in attendance respect the process and maintain order. As such, in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order, please refrain from speaking out, cheering, or applauding during these proceedings. Your cooperation helps ensure a fair and respectful hearing. I would now ask that the city attorney swear in anyone that was here to speak on any of those items under first or second reading.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anybody who's present here this evening that wishes to speak on item 6B4, Dilly Lake, MF, and Gas PUD rezoning, first reading, or 6B7, Callis PUD rezoning, first reading. If you would, please stand and raise your right hand so we can get you all sworn in. All right. Do you swear or affirm that all testimony you'll give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Okay, thank you all. Mr. Mayor, they're good to go.
Thank you, City Attorney. Would someone please introduce 6A1?
Or introduce, has to be read by title only.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, adding a PDO, Planned Development Overlay, to the C3 Highway Commercial Zoning on approximately 0.81 plus minus acres to allow for outdoor storage uses for a property generally located west of Ritchie Road and south of West Main Street, lying in Section 28, Township 19 South, Range 24 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
Can I get a motion for approval?
Move for approval.
Second.
So this, my understanding, this applicant has requested to table this indefinitely. And so,
I think that's okay if you want to do that. I mean, we'd have to be re-advertised.
or do we just need to
if it's
to
gonna-
vote on it and turn it down? Or since it's got to be re-advertised? but
Yeah, I mean, the commission can do as they wish. The item's on the agenda.
If we table it and vote, or we vote on it and vote down, he can't bring it back to us for how long?
A year.
There's a 1-year requirement. I'm not sure if it would cleanly apply in this situation.
Okay.
I'd have to look, but maximum would be 1 year.
Do we know of his reasons? I mean, does it have to be stated?
Maybe Miss Candy or Miss Max Van Allen would like to speak on
I
this.
mean, I would like to know why we're not.
Sure.
moving forward.
So the applicant emailed us letting us know that they wanted more time to come back to you with a definite plan. That was based on commission comments at the last meeting. So moving forward, when they're ready to come back, they would hopefully have a site plan for commission to contemplate, and also perhaps some revised PDO PDO conditions based on commission comments.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
And if we have to set
Your
a
mic
date,
went
we
off.
can set a date, but, if we have to set a date, we can set a date, but,
We
I
don't
know.
have to, it's just for advertisement purposes.
Okay.
If you set the date and time certain, then you don't have to re-advertise everything. It's more of a continuance from this already noticed hearing.
So, as our legal counsel, what would you recommend we do?
I would probably recommend under the circumstances at this point, probably just pulling it from the agenda and continuing that indefinitely, pending further direction from the applicant. And if nothing's going on after some period of time, planning and zoning can bring that back and shut it down if we want to do that.
Okay. So would someone,
And this would bring it back for a second reading. It wouldn't start over. It would just, this would be come back for a second reading.
That's correct. We already had first reading on that. Yes, sir.
do you want to make a motion?
So a motion to continue this at a later date, the second reading.
We have a motion and a second to continue to a later date. Any discussion? Any public comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Reisman?
Yes. Would someone please introduce 6B1?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
An ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, pursuant to Section 196.1978, parentheses 3, parentheses O, Florida statutes, electing to not exempt property under Section 196.1978, parentheses parentheses D 1.A, Florida statutes, commonly known as the Live Local Act property tax exemption for certain multi-family rental units, providing for findings, providing for opt-out, providing for applicability, providing for advertising and notice to the property appraiser, providing for no waiver rights, providing for an effective date and expiration, providing for severability and conflicts, and providing for an effective date.
This is a first reading. Does staff have anything they would like to say regarding this?
I can jump in briefly, Mr. Mayor. Essentially what this is the statute allows an additional tax exemption for Live Local project developers. Local governments such as the City of Leesburg are offered the opportunity to opt out of that tax exemption. And so what this would do was essentially eliminate an additional tax exemption that would exist for developers of Live Local projects.
Okay. Any commission comments? Any public comments on this? This item will lay over till August. You had a comment?
I just have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, is it to our advantage to opt out? I mean, is that?
In a sense, I mean, I'm not sure if it may be neutral for the city. Really, this is a private entity benefit, and by opting out of the tax incentive, then the city just takes that tax benefit away from the private developer.
Because this is something we'll be going forward with the new legislative laws that have come through. We will hear this more often, right?
You will hear Live Local more often.
Yes, I mean, this is going to be.
Yeah, I would expect that Live Local is, it's something
It needs some
someone in
fine
the
tuning. It
early-
needs some fine tuning.
Yeah, it needs some fine tuning is
that's
one
what
way
I'm
to
saying,
put it.
This is one of the ways that
I'm sure
At
this
the
is
state
first
level,
of
it needs some
many.
fine
the
tuning.
commissioners, the council should choose to opt out. I'm just asking if that's the best way.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
Any further discussion on
No,
this item?
not at all.
Yes, ma'am. Any public comments? Seeing none, this item will lay over till July 28th. Would someone please introduce 6B 2, 3, and 4?
I'll introduce items 6B, 2, 3, and 4 to be read by title only, please.
6B2, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, annexing certain real property consisting of approximately 24.43 plus minus acres, being generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and north of Ronald Reagan Turnpike, lying in Sections 6, 7, and 12, Township 21 South, Range 24 and 25 East, Lake County, Florida. Provided that said property so annexed shall be liable for its proportionate share of the existing and future indebtedness of said city, providing that such annexed property shall be subject to all laws and ordinances of said city, as if all such territory had been a part of the City of Leesburg at the time of passage and approval of said laws and ordinances, providing that such annexed territory shall be placed in City Commission District 3, and providing an effective date. 6B3, an ordinance amending the future land use map of the comprehensive plan of the City of Leesburg, changing the future land use map designation of certain property containing 24.43 plus minus acres from Lake County Regional Office to City of Leesburg General Commercial for property generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and north of Ronald Reagan Turnpike, lying in Sections 6, 7, and 12, Township 21 South, Range 24 and 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date. 6B4, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, changing the zoning on approximately 24.43 plus minus acres from Lake County PUD to City of Leesburg PUD planned unit development to allow for the development of 300 multifamily dwelling units and convenience store with 16 fueling stations for property generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and north of Ronald Reagan Turnpike, lying in Sections 6, 7, and 12, Township 21 South, Range 24 and 25 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
This is also a first reading. If we have a staff presentation or any updates. Thank you, Candy.
Good evening, Candy Harper, Deputy Director, Planning and Zoning. The applicant is here to talk about it. They may or may not have a presentation for it, but this is a commercial project located at the intersection of 27 and the Turnpike that's going to provide, I believe, a gas station and a few other options, as well as a living option down there. Staff finds that this is an excellent place for this type of development. And the applicant is here if you'd like to speak with him.
Thank you, Candy. Is the applicant here? And do you have a presentation this evening?
My name is Robbie Moon with KPM Franklin, 6300 Hazeltine National Drive, Orlando, Florida. We don't have a presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions or walk you through the site plan if you have any questions.
Any questions for the applicant?
Yes, sir. I did have a question. We're requiring a 4-foot berm on the front?
Yes, sir.
On 27?
Yes, sir.
But nothing on the Turnpike side?
I think the Turnpike's an actual,
Is it too
embankment.
high to
Yes,
do
sir.
anything? Is
That is correct. Plus, the property drops that way, so you have the Turnpike going up and property going down, so there's quite a difference of grade there.
So is there any expectation that the residents will have noise problems from the Turnpike then?
Is there a concept plan in your presentation you can
There
show?
I know at that end
Yeah.
you had your.
You had the pond there,
your
yeah.
ponds
And plus with
whatnot,
today's construction material windows, we don't necessarily expect that or anticipate that.
Okay.
So any other questions? Maybe at second reading, have a little presentation to
Okay.
go over everything with us.
Certainly.
A little more in depth.
Okay.
Any public comments on this? All right, seeing none, this item will lay over till August 25th. Would someone please introduce 5C6 or 5B, 5, 6, and 7? Thank you.
Introduced and asked to be read by title only.
6B5, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, annexing certain real property consisting of approximately 90.28 plus minus acres, being generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and south of the Florida Turnpike, lying in Section 12, Township 21 South, Range 14 East, Lake County, Florida, providing that said property so annexed shall be liable for its proportionate share of the existing and future indebtedness of said city, providing that such annexed property shall be subject to all laws and ordinances of said city, as if all such territory had been a part of the City of Leesburg at the time of passage and approval of said laws and ordinances, providing that such annexed territory shall be placed in City Commission District 3, and providing an effective date. 6B6, an ordinance amending the future land use map of the comprehensive plan of the City of Leesburg, changing the future land use map designation of certain real property consisting of approximately 90.28 plus minus acres, being generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and south of Florida Turnpike, lying in Section 12, Township 21 South, Range 14 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date. 6B7, an ordinance of the City of Leesburg, Florida, changing the zoning on approximately 90.28 plus minus acres from Lake County A Agriculture to City of Leesburg PUD Planned Unit Development to allow for a mixed-use development for property generally located west of U.S. Highway 27 and south of Florida Turnpike, lying in Section 12, Township 21 South, Range 14 East, Lake County, Florida, and providing an effective date.
This is also a first reading. Ms. Candy?
This is fundamentally an economic development opportunity as well as an opportunity for students in Leesburg to learn a trade. This is expanding and relocating a business, a corporate office, and providing housing for people. This, again, is a very good location for this type of development. I believe it's going to look good on the Turnpike as well as on 27 as a gateway into Leesburg. And again, this is economic expansion and opportunity for people. And the applicant is here if you'd like to speak with them.
Thank you, Ms. Candy. Would the applicant like to say anything?
Darcy Unruh with Unruh Engineering at 2750 Taylor Avenue, Orlando, Florida. The engineer on the project. I didn't bring anything with me to discuss, but happy to answer any questions, whatever you have for us.
What kind of business?
It's a mechanical, plumbing, electrical contractor. They're based in Claremont now. They're moving their headquarters here. The idea of this project is to create kind of a campus feeling. It's a large piece of property. We're not overdeveloping it. Just a really nice office, warehouse for their employees, a training center for their employees and the community, and then some small amount, 30 units or so of residential that will primarily be for their employees, but of course open others, not like restricted or anything. But yeah, that's the general gist of the project.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions for the applicant?
So I had written down 16 units.
60. I may have
Okay.
overstated.
And that is hopefully for employees.
That's the goal.
That's the idea.
Yeah, they want to have a place for their employees, to work and live there. Also they have people come in from out of town, so they may save a couple places for those folks to be able to have a place to stay, when they come to visit and that type of thing. Yeah.
What's the name of the company?
It's Kalos Services.
Kalo?
Kalos.
And they're, you say electrical, mechanical?
Electrical, mechanical, plumbing, yeah.
Okay.
So do you anticipate any problems? You've got a bridge over a little bit of wetland?
Yeah, small access. They've purchased another piece of property down the farthest south on the turnpike to get away from that intersection. And that's kind of a funky way to get in, but that's the only way to access this property.
Okay. Any other commission comments? Any public comments on this? Seeing none, this item will lay over to August 25th. We do need to make we do need a motion to transmit 6B6 to the state for review.
So moved.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on the transmittal to the state? Any public comments? Seeing none, roll call for the transmittal to the state.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry? Yes. Mayor Reason?
Yes. Would someone please introduce 6C1?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Selection of voting delegate for the Florida League of Cities 2025 conference.
Shortest one you ever read, Andy. All right. I know Commissioner Berry is planning on going, and I think I'm going to be able to go as well. So I don't know if anyone else has any intentions of going, but if I think myself and Miss Commissioner Berry would be willing, we'd be the voting delegates.
Thank you both for attending.
I think. Do we need a motion?
Isn't it just
Oh, it says.
We need one decided, however you guys want to decide that.
Okay, I'll go. You've been before, so you can vote, and I'll attend with you this year. So, there. Do we need a motion on that? No.
No, it's just.
In August
We'll
15th
just
to
notify
16th.
FLC that
Okay.
Commissioner Berry is the
Voting delegate.
It's August 14th through the 16th.
Yep. All right. Very well. And with that, would someone please introduce 6C2?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the ratification of the collective bargaining agreements for reopeners with the Florida Police Benevolent Associations, Inc. for officers/detectives and corporal/sergeants and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. City Manager?
Yeah, this is the collective bargaining agreement for the Police Benevolence Association with all the terms that we discussed during the budget workshops.
Any commission comments? Any public comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Mayor Reason?
Yes. Would someone please introduce 6C3?
I'll introduce and ask to be read by title only, please.
Resolution of the City Commission of the City of Leesburg, Florida, authorizing the ratification of the collective bargaining agreement for reopener with the Professional Firefighters of Leesburg Local 2957, IAFF, AFL-CFO-CLC, and providing an effective date.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion and a second. City Manager?
Again, this is the CBA for the IAFF with all the ramifications and benefits that we discussed during the workshops.
Any commission comments on that? Any public comments? Seeing none, roll call.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Connell?
Yes.
Commissioner Berry?
Yes.
Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Mayor Reason?
Yes. We'll move on to 7, informational reports. We have none. City attorney items.
None this evening. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, City. Thank you, Grant. City manager items.
Yeah, so just to follow up on budget, we're going to give you periodic budget updates as we go through. So basically with this one, you had the DR 420 that was on the consent agenda that was approved. So that set your millage rate at the current rate, which is a tax increase. You don't have to use that millage rate, but you can't go above that. And then today, with you all ratifying the CBAs, that now ratifies those agreements for the last year of the 3-year term. Fiscal year 26 will mark the end of that, both CBAs. So probably I would estimate in April of 26, we'll probably start in earnest to open up the whole CBA and negotiate all articles and then be back to you this time next year. And then as far as other budget ramifications, really nothing else to report. So that's all I have.
All right, roll call.
Commissioner Peterson?
Nothing tonight.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing.
Commissioner Connell?
Yeah, one thing I forgot to bring up during the discussion. I do have something I need to submit in for public record concerning the shuffleboard courts. It's from Elise Dennison. Maybe so, you can just pass those around. There's a copy for everybody there. So
You already got one?
yes, I forgot to pass those out earlier. Other than that, I have nothing.
Commissioner Berry?
Nothing tonight.
Mayor Reason?
Just a couple couple things. The Back to School Bash is happening this Saturday. Would love for you all to come out. It's at the Venetian Center. It's supporting our 8 local schools. Between the Hope Coalition and our Leesburg Police Department, all the volunteers from that agency that helped over the weekend sweat a lot at Walmart, stuffing the SWAT truck and collecting money to provide backpacks and school supplies for our 8 local schools. So kudos to them and all of our volunteers that will be helping with that. And then see you all tomorrow at budget at 5:30. So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Meeting adjourned.